Hey Jonesy Babes and Anonymous Jonesy Babes, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to talk about Darnell Jones. Today was his arraignment. So let's go ahead and get into it. Darnell Jones, the man accused of unaliving his 13-year-old daughter kei'mani, appeared in court for an arraignment Wednesday afternoon where he pleaded not guilty to all 15 charges. Okay, he pleaded not guilty to all 15 charges. All right. Now, before I go any further, let's talk about the audio. I was very disappointed because I could not hear everything that I needed to hear. They need to get it together. I'm not sure which news outlet was recording or what was going on. You need to have your mic set up so we can hear everything, because the audio was mad low and I was not happy with that. It really aggravated me. Okay, I'm locked in. I got my handy dandy notebook and my wonderful writing pen here, and I couldn't hear or take my notes the way I needed to because the audio was low. So I had to leave out of the live stream and and go back to the video and click on closed captions. All right, and that's the way I took my notes. Plus my hubby was helping me. He was dictating some of the things that the judge was saying because I couldn't hear anything. Even with the TV up loud, I couldn't hear it. And early when I was in the live stream, I had my headphones on and I still couldn't hear it. So they have to get their things together. We can't have this for the trial. I would not have it. Now, who do I need to write to get this straightened out? Because we can't have this. I need to listen and hear every little piece of detail that is going on. Sometimes the closed captions don't get everything. Do better. Do better. Okay? Now, let's continue. Darnell Jones, who also goes by the alias Darnell Ogletree, is charged with aggravated unaliving, rape, and kidnapping, among a slew of other charges, in kei'mani's disappearance and death nearly a month and a half ago. Now, the court began with some procedural exchanges between the judge and Darnell Jones. This included an explanation of why Jones goes by both Ogletree and Jones. Jones was born Ogletree. When he was adopted, his name became Darnell Jones, and he began going by Ogletree as an adult. Jones was appointed an attorney, David Cluckus. Is it Cluckus or Cluckus? I think it's Cluckus. Well, I'm going to call him Mr. K, whose son works for the prosecutor's office. Now, the judge ordered Mr. K and his son to not discuss the case, to which they both agreed. The judge granted a conflict of interest waiver. Now, the judge then read Jones' charges out aloud to him. Jones' unaliving charges were filled with specifications of rape and kidnapping, with the felony kidnapping charges were filed with specifications of rape. And we know the rest. I don't want to keep going through, those charges because they are hard to hear. The judge also read Jones' other charges, including felony child endangerment, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with evidence. Kei'mani's grandmother, Dorothy, attended Wednesday's hearing. I didn't see her, but they said she was there. Prosecutors asked the judge to have Jones be held without bond. Jones was previously held on a $4 million bond. The defense made the argument to have more time to establish what his bond should be. The judge granted the prosecution's motion to hold Jones without bail, but said that the subject of bail could be returned later. The judge issued a time waiver until June 27 to allow the defense more time with Jones to build his case. Toledo police provided the news outlet with a 911 call from Dorothy Lateef when she reported Kei'mani missing. We are working on uploading that 911 call transcript and we'll link it when available. And this is coming from the news outlet. So the news outlet asked Mr. K for a comment on the case, but Mr. K said it's too early to say anything. According to court records, the case against Jones is a criminal capital murder case, meaning he could be eligible for DP. It's Lucas County's first capital murder case in more than a decade. Okay? Now, Darnell Jones' attorney, David Cluckus, Mr. K, that man just couldn't sit still. He was just all over the place. He was fumbling with the papers. He was extra active. Now, maybe he had a little bit too much coffee or something else. Okay? But he was all over the place. Now, and Baroness, that's Darnell's other attorney. Now, she was sitting there looking over her glasses, looking at Darnell, looking at the judge, going back and forth, looking over her glasses. And you know who she reminded me of while she was doing that? Mrs. Puff from SpongeBob. Do you guys remember Mrs. Puff? That's who she reminded me of when she was looking over her glasses, looking at Darnell or the attorney and looking at the judge. She reminded me of Mrs. Puff. And I'm not dissing anyone. I'm just saying that's who she reminded me of. Because when I was looking at her, I said, oh my goodness, she looked just like Mrs. Puff. So I just want to share that. But Mrs. Baroness and Mr. K are Darnell Jones' attorneys. Now the judge, asks Darnell, did he have any mental health issues? Darnell told the judge he has a history of mental health issues. He suffered from ADD, ADHD, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, depression, and anxiety. Anxiety is taking over me. Whoa. Okay, I just had to get that out of my system. So, we already talked about Mr. K temporarily waived Darnell Jones' right to a speedy trial until June 27th. Okay, another determination will be made on the progress of the case. The proceedings will be scheduled on Fridays and will be live streamed on the first floor in the court. I noticed that Darnell Jones is still in a wheelchair. The judge spoke about the trial phases and the sentencing phase. He said the trial phase is the jury and a 3-judge panel will determine whether the state, beyond a reasonable doubt, all of the elements of the charges and the specifications. If not found guilty, he will be released. If he is found guilty of the offenses but not guilty of the DP specifications, he'll be sentenced to a term of years in prison corresponding to the charges and the non-DP specifications. Okay. I also noticed that Darnell Jones is still in a wheelchair. He also looked like he was medicated. I wouldn't be surprised if he was. you know. He had a piece of lint in his hair. He had on a regular shirt. He didn't have on his jail uniform, which he should have, you know. But he had on an oversized shirt. Looked like it was borrowed from somewhere, you know. And he sat there. He listened to the judge, and he was messing with his leg. You know, he was just doing little things. But, you know, that's what that is. You know, with him pleading not guilty is just nonsense to me, because he confessed and he had evidence that he did all these things. Well, he did the things. And I still believe there are people involved. I do. This is going to be an interesting trial. I'm telling you now. It's going to be an interesting trial. Now, I wonder why Dorothy showed up. By her not showing up to the other court cases, did she catch some backlash? You know, people talking smack about her not being there, and that's why she showed up today? That lady is something else. She is something else. Okay, so what else did I want to talk to you guys before I get up out of here? Oh, Miss Charlotte, she was in my comment section yesterday, and she mentioned immunity. Now, that immunity is not for Dorothy. That immunity is for like the police, the 911 operators, you know, the authorities and the government employees. That's what the immunity is for. Okay, it's for them. It's not for Dorothy. And I made sure to do some research on it. So that's what that, you know, that's what that was about. Okay. All right. So talk to me in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about Darnell pleading not guilty. And how did you feel about the arraignment today? Okay. So I got something to do. I'll probably be back later with something else. I don't know. But I'll talk to you guys later. If you need me, honey, you know how to get to me. Just leave me a comment in the comment section. I'll always read my comments, and I'll get back to you. All right? All right. So I'll talk to you guys later.